Good morning to all. I am Subhashini from the Department of Civil Engineering, Government College of Engineering and Technology, Tirunelveli. We have a presentation video here for the subject Experimental Techniques and Instrumentation. Let's see about the overall view and the overall content of the subject. It's one of the interesting subjects because it deals with the practical experimental procedure. Anyone can easily understand the subject. So, let's start about the subject. From the name itself, we can understand what is the content of the subject. Experimental techniques. What is experimental techniques? It is the process of measuring the various physical quantities through the various equipments by using the experimental procedures. That way it's called as a experimental techniques. So, the experimental techniques refers to the measuring of various physical quantities through the practical experimental procedures. Instrumentation is the process of measurement of static and dynamic response of the structure. So, from the name itself, we can understand what is the content of the subject. The physical variables, basic physical variables such as pressure, temperature, humidity, flow, force, speed, anything can be measured using the several experimental techniques. Now let's move on to the first phase of the subject. The first phase of the subject deals with the principles of measurement of static and dynamic response of the structure. It also deals with the measurement of various instruments such as strain gauges, pressure gauges, load cells, proving rings, etc. with the clear experimental procedures. This will require a pure structural engineering laboratory where the various instruments are practically utilized, experimented and studied. The first topic of this subject is forces and strain measurement. It includes stress analysis, strain gauges and some experimental instruments. First, force measurements. We all know about force is a physical quantity of fundamental engineering. Force has to be measured for the number of applications. Some devices are used to measure forces. The devices are scale and balance, elastic force meter, which is also called as a proving rings, and load cells. There are many other types of load cells available. From these instrument and measurements, we can find the force measurements. In stress analysis, we have to find the errors in measurements. All the measurements will have some errors. It will be the man-made error or the instrument error. We have to classify the type of error and we have to clarify the type of error. The next one is the strain measurements. Strain measurements can be done using the strain gauges. What is strain gauge? Strain gauge is a device which is used to measure the dimensional changes on the surface of the structural member under using some test. There are several types of strain gauges are available, which are mechanical, optical, acoustical, pneumatic and electrical strain gauges are used. Pressure gauges are used to measure the pressures of gases or liquids. First, we have to know about the Selection of strain gauge. Depending upon some factors, we have to select the strain gauge. The main three factors are operating temperature, nature of the strain to be detected, and stability requirements. These are the main criteria to select the proper type of strain gauge. The next one is photoelasticity. It is an experimental method to determine the stress distribution in a material. It gives the accurate picture of the stress distribution. It is also used to determine the critical stress points. Here we have some of the instrument which is used to measure various type of physical quantities. The first one is hydraulic jacks. What is hydraulic jack? Hydraulic jack are often used to lift the elevator in low and medium rise buildings. Second one is a electronic load cell. It is a type of transducer that is used to convert a force into electrical signals. Through the mechanical arrangement, the force being sensed and deforms as a strain gauge. The strain gauge measures the deformation as a electrical signals. There are several types of strain gauges are available. Next one is a proving rings. Proving ring is an elastic ring in which the deflection of the ring when loaded along a diameter is measured by means of micrometer screw and vibrating reed mounted diametrically in the ring. Then calibration of the testing machines. All the proving rings are calibrated against the known standards in accordance with the American Society of Testing and Material Specification, which is known as ASTM. Next one is the long-term monitoring by using the vibrating sensors. Structural health monitoring is performed to ensure the safety and serviceability of the structure from the construction stage throughout the completion of the construction and until the end of the structure's useful life. Vibrating wire sensor and the fiber optic sensor are used for the strain measurement for high resolution and high accuracy. The next topic is measurement of vibration and wind flow. This topic involves the advancement of measuring how the structure responds to the vibratory loading and wind flow. Vibration describes the repetitive motion that can be absorbed in a structure. Unwanted vibration may degrade the performance of the structure. It is desirable to minimize the effect of vibration. Vibration analysis is subdivided into several categories, which are free and forced vibration, sinusoidal and random vibration, linear and rotational. These are the instruments used to measure the vibration and wind flow. Vibration can be measured using these several instruments such as linear variable differential transformer, which is a type of electrical transformer used for measuring the linear displacement. Transducers for velocity and acceleration measurement. Vibration meter, it is a digital meter used to measure the vibration. Seismograph, it is used to measure the earth vibrations. Vibration analyzer, cathode ray oscilloscope and XY plotter. Wind flow. Wind flow can be measured by using flow meters, venturimeter, digital data acquisition system. The next topic is the distress measurements and control. The main problem of the marine environmental structures is the corrosion of the bars in the reinforced concrete. The chloride ion attacks the concrete and the steel is susceptible to be corroded. The composition of the seawater is 35% of dissolved salt and 55% of the chloride ions. For knowing the state of bar in the reinforced concrete without breaking it, different non-destructive testing methods and equipments are available at the moment. Analyzing the various de-stress undergone by the structure such as cracks, and these are the de-stress measurements: crack observation and measurements, corrosion of reinforcement in concrete, half-cell construction and use, damage assessment, controlled blasting for demolition, techniques for residual stress and measurements, and structural health monitoring. The next phase. The later half of the subject introduces the advanced technologies of non-destructive testing and their principal application in model analysis. Thus, at the end of this subject, there will be a thorough knowledge gain on various measurements, technologies, and analyzing a structure. The next topic is the non-destructive testing method. It is a wide group of analysis techniques used in science and industry to evaluate the properties of material, component, or system without causing the damage. It is a highly valuable technique that can save both money and time in product evaluation, troubleshooting, and research, where the member's strength cannot be adequately determined from the in situ materials. Load testing may be necessary. Load testing may be divided into two main categories. In situ testing, generally non-destructive, test on members removed from the structures, which will generally be destructive. These are the main testing methods of non-destructive testing. They are load testing on structures, rebound hammer, acoustic emission, ultrasonic testing, holography, laser for structural testing, advanced entity methods. These methods used in variety of applications. It has a wide range of industrial activity. It can be used in automotive, aerospace, construction, maintenance, repair and operation, manufacturing, industrial plants such as nuclear, petrochemical, power plants, refineries, pulp and paper fabrication shops. It has a wide range of industrial application. The next topic is a model analysis. A structural model is required to reproduce an actual structure, which is a prototype, to some convenient scale and in such a manner that it is possible to predict the behavior of the prototype subjected to its applied loads from the behavior of the model subjected to a system of proportional loads. Model analysis may be employed in the design of complex structure for which the mathematical analysis is not possible, or may be used to check the validity of a structure by the theoretical method of analysis. There are two types of model study, which are direct model study and indirect model study. All the models, whether direct or indirect, should be designed according to the certain principle called law of similitude, which establishes the relationship between the response of the model and prototype. The principle of similitude is ensured through the scale factor, the factor by which any quantity in the model should be multiplied to get the quantity in the prototype. The scale factor can be determined by the two methods, dimensional analysis and direct approach. The main objectives are stress analysis of the model, determination of stress distribution, determination of critical or buckling loads, analysis of the characteristics of normal modes of vibration. The necessity of model analysis. Because of the mathematical analysis of the problem concerned is virtually impossible. Though possible, it is so complex and tedious that the model analysis offers an advantages and shortcuts. Because the importance of the problem is such that the verification of the mathematical process. These are the important points in the model analysis. From this presentation, we have go through the each and every content of the subject. It is useful for you to understand the overall view of the subject. Thank you.